Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about Pam Bondi's confirmation hearing for Attorney General and her overall suitability for that position, which is, of course, the number one position in federal law enforcement. Let me start with her qualifications. Relative to the motley crew that Trump has nominated, she's playing as a fairly solid choice. And, she's not beyond the pale. But it's not as if she has some kind of splendid resume for the job. She knows nothing about the federal system and, compare the last three attorneys general, including under Trump 1.0. So we're talking Merrick Garland, who has huge experience in the federal system and in the DOJ and as a line prosecutor. Bill Barr, who at least knew DOJ and the government very well, and Jeff Sessions, who was a U.S. attorney. She really doesn't have any of that, and her deputy doesn't have very much either, just a little bit. So she'll be, having to play catch up. It's similar, you could say, to the resume in the background that Janet Reno brought to the job, and nobody says she wasn't qualified. Nevertheless, I was there at the time, and there were ways in which her absence of federal experience mattered. But that is the least of it. Bondi is going to be confirmed by the second round of questioning. That was clear. The Dems were not trying to bring her down or didn't portray it as a close call. They knew the numbers, and so they were placating in their questions, and yet nevertheless made a few pointed observations that, to my mind, in the right world, just disqualify her from being Attorney General. So just to summarize her performance, she was overall poised, overall professional, but the critical points came. First, she wouldn't disavow the possibility of interference from Trump and the White House. She supplied these bromides about how politics wouldn't influence the decisions, but she didn't step away there. Second, she has a record of election denialism. She was helping Trump in 2020, and in Pennsylvania, she made statements that certainly sound a lot like an assertion that Trump had won or that Biden had not. It's equivocal in some ways. You could try to defend it, but that's all the more reason she would need to come clean now. And she also, during her hearing, really trashed the department and called the prosecutions of Trump political and politicized and the like. Okay, that last point, it's false. But at least she said her view on it, and I understand the assertion, even though anybody with law enforcement sophistication knows it's bogus. Even the first, where she says she can't promise, even while saying, it won't be political in my Department of Justice, she nevertheless really wouldn't say that she wouldn't follow orders from the White House and Trump. That's a problem, but it's a problem that's not of her making or doesn't go, precisely to her suitability, in the sense that Trump's made clear he's going to do that. The Constitution doesn't forbid it. And if it did, even if he committed crimes in doing it, we know from the Supreme Court that he couldn't be prosecuted. So at a bare minimum, you can say that, she would be and will be, if it happens, in a tight spot. But the president is the president. If he commands this constitutional view, a wrong-headed and pernicious constitutional view, you can't ask her, I think, or you can understand how she wouldn't be able to say at the hearing, okay, no way I will listen to that view. But she expressed election denialism, and under questioning from several senators, especially Senator Durbin, she just wouldn't disavow it. She just wouldn't come clean. She was asked to give a straightforward answer on a factual question that in fact goes to her qualifications deeply. If somebody actually holds the view that up is down and the election was stolen, that really makes it questionable if they can serve. So it's not like a stray. She previously said that the moon was made of green cheese. It's something that really goes to her current role in federal law enforcement, and they've asked her a straight yes or no question. It's not also the same as having to swear she will violate what Trump orders her to do. This is just, was it or was it not? You can compare it really with previous episodes of confirmations where there were factual matters that the Senate needed to clear up, say the Thomas nomination or the Kavanaugh nomination. Now, however you think that came out, one thing that neither justice nominee did was say, well, I just won't tell you what I think. They danced around at certain points if questions were raised inartfully, so it caused them to actually have to talk about cases that could come before them, fine. But a straight up, did you or didn't you, or do you believe that the election was fair? And her answer, well, I don't contest that Joe Biden should be there, but she really bobbed and weaved and wouldn't answer in the right kind of world where the Senate is really asserting its not, crazy aggressive role, but just its condign role as, deciding on someone's qualifications. The right response for senators there would be to say, Ms. Bondi, if you can't answer this question, yes or no, this factual question that bears on the history of our country, but also bears on your service going forward, I'm not voting for you. And that really would be completely appropriate indeed. It would be the right thing to do when a nominee is so evasive. They're not doing it here. The Dems recognize Schiff in his follow-up made it clear, okay, you're going to get through, but they should be. And just on the merits, an attorney general who will not answer a factual question bearing on her qualifications to the Senate should not be the attorney general. That's the whole point here. It matters, for starters, if an attorney general is actually taking this completely false view, and it could even affect some things she does going forward. And it is absolutely legitimate for the Senate to be inquiring about it, and giving her a free pass at not even answering, that's wrong. Now, so much about this world and the current political landscape is wrong, and that's just one of many. I can imagine worse AG candidates, say Matt Gaetz. Oh, another thing that came to her a lot was how she would try to handle Kash Patel. She actually denied that he had an enemies list. That's also malarkey. So the inability to or the refusal to come clean to the Senate, that to me is disqualifying in the sense of right and wrong, or what it should be, even though she is going to become the next Attorney General of the United States. But it's a shame. And as I say, she's one of the stronger candidates, but it's just bogus for a candidate to come up and basically refuse to answer that kind of question that bears on her qualifications. So to my mind, she is not qualified to be the Attorney General. And it's a shame that she will slide through on the sheer numbers of senators who are scared to cross Donald Trump. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.